Welcome to the headquarters. This is Default, and I don't really have a script here, so I'm just gonna wing it. So recently I made a video on Overwatch's level design. Well, I said to stay tuned for a surprise third part, so here it is. Now, I didn't want to make it so that all my criticisms were just meaningless ramblings, so I wanted to create something that would represent my critique as a whole. So with that in mind, welcome to Buford Research Base in British Columbia. Now, I didn't want to try and reinvent Overwatch's map design, I just wanted to try and mutate it a little bit. Just change it a fair bit to make it better how I see fit, if that makes any sense. Like, for example, here's the first choke point. It's still there, however, now there's two flanks to get around the choke point, which is basically what I was asking for in the video the whole time. I don't mind there being a choke point, I just want there to be other methods of getting through it than just brute forcing your way. The middle area isn't anything particularly spectacular, it's fairly simplistic with a decent amount of cover and a flank off to the left. The last objective is, well, it certainly feels a lot more different than your typical Overwatch map. It has two main routes instead of just one, it has a lot more cover overall, and most importantly, it's designed specifically around strategic advantages rather than just hopping onto the point. I noticed that the best map to do this was Volskaya Industries, and I wanted to emulate that a little bit, and I took inspiration from other games, mainly Team Fortress 2. I know I said that I wasn't gonna compare this game to Team Fortress 2 in the last video, but I feel like there's a couple things that sorta have to be compared in order to get the point across properly. For example, shutter doors on the spawn rooms. I didn't really mention this because I felt like I would have had to have directly referenced Team Fortress 2. However, I really feel like having a shutter door in front of the spawn room is just such a better concept, because then the enemy cannot just see you walk out of spawn. I just think that that's a better design in any scenario. So let me give you the grand tour. So here we're in attack spawn, and up here is a sort of a spawn area battlements for snipers and whatnot. So heading back down, we could go through the main exit, however we're not gonna, because down here is a lower flank area to sort of just get a bit behind everything, just stay out of harm's way, so to speak. Anyway, so out here is the opening area. Here's that choke point that I was telling you about. As you can see, it's pretty similar to the other Overwatch choke points, however it's got a bit more cover. However, if we go up here, which any hero can access, by the way, we realize that there is a nice little sniper perch that overlooks that choke point, as well as an alcove over there. So heading back down here, we can see both this little shack here with some health, and off to the left here is another flank area for the attackers, which heads directly into the alcove. Now this alcove is useful for both the attackers and the defenders because it can be used for snipers or Torbjorns, mostly Torbjorns and Bastions. And right here is the point itself, which is overlooked by two perches as well as that alcove that I mentioned earlier. Going through here gives the defenders access to that perch that I mentioned earlier. There's some health. Here's a little sightline breaker building. So head through this door, and the defenders will hold their defense over here. So right here they have this nice little bit of a height advantage that I imagine a lot of heroes will be able to take advantage of. I was thinking in particular like an Orisa or something, mainly tank heroes. Anyway, heading down here, we have the middle area. We could go down the normal way, but we're not gonna. And here is the little flank route. But even if we did decide to head down the normal way, there would be plenty of cover. And over there is a little sniper perch for Widowmakers or hunters to get up. And it's actually only available for those sort of more mobile classes. Oh, here's another sniper perch. Anyway, heading through here, and we have the main sort of entrance area for the attackers to go through. Anyway, so taking the right path here, which is one of the ways that the attackers can go through, reveals point B, which is a circular point with a nice big bit of cover in the middle, sort of like that one of the points on Lijiang Tower. Up here is a stairwell that leads up here, and this battlement is sort of similar to that both attack and defend duality battlements that's up in Hanamura and other maps like that. So yeah, that's sort of my equivalent to that. Oh, there's another flank area. Forgot to show you that. Down here is the basement area. This is sort of like the closest thing that this map has to a left flank. Heads directly onto the point. Well, may not quite directly, but you get the point. And here's another alcove for a couple campers to take refuge or just grab some health, however they see fit. Here's another stairwell. There's a spawn room door. And speaking of spawn room door, let's head in one. Ah, there's those shutter doors I was telling you about. And obviously this is the main exit. And going through here is that stairwell I showed you earlier. And of course, going out does not lead to a direct sight line onto the point, thank God. Ah yes, and back here is the attacker's forward spawn. So when they capture A, they'll start spawning in here. I also forgot to mention that this door locks after the attackers capture point A. So neither the attackers nor the defenders will be able to use it after that. They'll have to go around. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to show you. The story concept is essentially, it's sort of like Canadian Vandenberg, if that makes any sense. It's sort of like this big conspiracy research base. I noticed that Overwatch's story does sort of hint at conspiracy elements, and I wanted to sort of have this area that sort of feeds into that. I thought that that would be a very interesting concept for Overwatch to delve into some, because they pay lip service to it, to the concept of a conspiracy in the story a couple times, notably in Sombra's bio is where they mention it most directly, but they don't really elaborate on it at all, so I'd like to see them do that. And in the off chance that Blizzard watches this video, then just take it, bro. Do whatever you want with it. And anyway, for anyone who's watching this, I'm leaving a download in the description. And yeah, have a good night and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Laters.